Hi, girls. Hi, Silvia and Nyssa. How are you, Silvia?
Fine, I'm fine. A little
And
bit
Nyssa,
tired.
how are you today?
Very well. Thank you, Letty.
Right.
And
So,
hello,
girls,
Silvia.
we are going to try and answer some questions that I have on the screen. So I'm going to ask Nyssa to go first, Silvia, as it's your first time, and it will give you time to think of what you would like to say.
Okay.
Okay, Nyssa, we know your name. Do you know the meaning of your name?
Not very well, I think. I think this is a lady in Arabic language, but I don't know.
Right.
Other meaning.
Okay. My name is, in English, it's Leticia, and in Spanish, it's Leticia, and my friends call me Letty, and it's a Latin name, and it means like happiness, alegría, and things like that. I know this because it was my grandmother's name. And you, Silvia, do you know what Silvia means?
I don't know. I don't really know. I know that my name is because my parents have a friend of them that is an English. She's from England, and she's a good friend of my mom. And this is because I am Silvia.
Right.
And
So
my real name was with Y in the first, because
at the
it was in
beginning.
English at the beginning, yes, but in Spain, in the register, I don't know if it's name in the register, the man who was there, he didn't write correctly, because
Right.
he said that no, with Y.
Silvia with an I, because it's more Spanish. But your
Yes.
parents chose this name because they have a good friend.
Yes.
And when you went to register your name in the official place, they changed the spelling. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so,
my name, even in when I got the baptist, I am Silvia Maria, because the cure didn't want to call me only Silvia.
right, because if I remember correctly, over 40 years ago, people had to have Catholic names.
Yes.
And so you weren't allowed to have
Yes.
like what we call a Western name, or
Yes.
which is not Catholic
Yes.
or not in
Yeah.
the Bible. And so you had to be Silvia Maria, so you
Yeah.
had a Catholic name.
Yes.
I used to look after children in Spain, and his name was Alexis. And they couldn't register him as Alexis. They had to put Jose Alexis.
Yes.
And Jose Duncan. So when you started with this story, I understood you because I've had this experience.
Yes.
So in the time of Franco here in Spain, you weren't allowed to use, I don't know if you could call them Western names, but names which are not typically Catholic. So you had to put something in front of it.
Yes.
The other girl was called Susan, and she was called, I can't remember, she was called Susan Maria, I think she was called. She was given another name.
In Spain, we are almost every woman Maria.
Maria.
Well, I can't say that much either, because I have this name as second as well. Okay.
I love this name, Maria.
Yes, it depends. If there's a lot of people with it when you are using it, or only a few people. Right, Nyssa, do you study English in a special place or at home?
And now at home. In the past, I studied English in an English school, but only for 1 year. And now I study English at home, or using internet, of course, the most of the time.
So we're very lucky now that at the moment we can use the internet for so many things. And you, Silvia, do you study in an academy or a school or at home?
Oh, it depends on the moment of my life. Right now, at the moment, I'm studying at home, watching TV or reading books, but I've been studying in academy when I took my B1 and my B2 courses. I just I've just been for 1 month in each one, and then and the rest of the time at home. And when I was young, I studied 1 year in the United States, my last year, my senior year in the high school, and that's more or
Right.
less my
So
my
the
life
last
with
year
English.
of
Mm.
high school in UK English, it's called sixth form college. Just
Okay.
before you go to university. In
It's
American, it would be called something else, which I don't know.
senior year.
So for
A
the
senior.
last year, before you went to university, I think you went to America.
Yes.
And there you had some experiences of the language.
Yes.
And then when you were doing your exams, the B1 or the B2, you actually went to an academy to help you prepare for that.
Mhm.
And now you just do it at home by yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Nyssa, how many hours a week do you spend?
Now, hours a week. I think 5, 6 hours in a week now. But you know very well that in the past I spent, I think 3, 4 hours per day. So
Right. So it depends on our other duties that we have to do. And
yeah.
you, Silvia, what do you do now?
Oh, I'm trying to what I said to you before. I'm trying to watch TV and listen the radio, the news, and I'm trying to talk with my kids in English. And Roberto is the oldest, and he speaks more or less fluently. And the smallest, that is Anna, she listened to me in English and she answered in Spanish, and we try to, when we have dinner, for example, we try to speak in English, and we are trying to watch TV all the time in English. We are trying to do some work at home in English. I
Yes.
think
So without
what,
realizing, no, without realizing what you're
yes,
doing, if you
yes,
have the television on in the background or something, you are listening
yes.
to a little bit. I think that's a good idea at the dinner table. When I was in Spain and I looked after children, it was mandatory to speak English at the table.
Yes, we are trying to.
Yes, but they were bilingual children, so they had it a little bit easier. And they knew without being told that at the table you weren't allowed to speak anything but English. So maybe in small dosages, in small moments, it's a good idea. Right then, Nyssa, our next question. What do you find difficult about learning English?
Okay, in the start was talk talk in English, because here in Italy we study a lot of rules and grammar, and we rarely talk. So I in the start was that, but now I think say the good pronunciation or intonation, and because I love my Italian accent, but sometimes
Right. Yeah. So when you're speaking, you do the rhythm and the
yeah,
sound of Italian more than an
Italian
English one.
sound,
So,
yes.
but now you're at a different stage in your life. So when you were starting to learn English to speak and be more confident, you were concentrated on that. Now you seem to be okay with that. Now you move on to something else, which is, as you said, the rhythm and in the intonation, no,
Yeah.
which is difficult, but you can do it with time. And Silvia, and what do you find?
Okay, at the beginning, like Nyssa, in Spain, we only learn grammar and nothing else. And when I went to United States, the more difficult thing was that I couldn't speak a word in English. And when I came back, as I told you before, I speak like an Indian. And sometimes people understand you, and they don't correct you at all. So I think for me is easier to speak right now, but I'm too shy, so I get nervous sometimes. But when I am comfortable, I speak fluently, more or less, but the grammar is my fault because I don't remember a lot of things that I studied in even with my B1 or my B2. But when I begin to speak, it's like I speak very fast and I forget important things from the grammar, and it
But
depends on the
maybe
moment.
it's like riding a bicycle. When you stop, you
Yes.
forget a little bit, but once you get
Yes.
back on again, it starts.
Yeah.
But I think the more you use it, the easier it will get.
Yes.
So if you have this information in your head, it will start to come back again, no?
Yes. Yes. I think it's is here
It's
around.
here somewhere. We just
Yes.
have to bring it
And sometimes
forward. Right. And the last question for today, how useful do you think English is? Nyssa, how useful do you think it is?
Very, very useful. You know, I started study English to help my son with his homework, and because I think that English here is really important for his future, but also for me, for us, for our job, for everything, because English is the international language, and all of us.
I'm going to ask you now,
take-
Nyssa, how long have you been speaking in this new moment in your life of learning English? I can't
English?
remember. 6 months?
From March.
Right. So before that, you had knowledge of grammar, of the things you did at school, but actual speaking, I remember the first time I
7
saw you, you could just say one word or two, and you
I
couldn't
can't
say any more. And I just thought, oh my God, this woman is so brave, because I wouldn't do the same thing in Spanish, knowing so little, no? But
was
I
very
just remember you taking part in all those meetings and how brave you were. So I don't know, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 6 months, 7 months. So in that time, I think now you have become a confident person and you would have any conversation with anybody. And to finish, I have this question. What is the door it has opened for you, Nyssa, with learning how to speak English?
Stop to think about my mistake or my fears, and
And to
only
overcome
try
your
to speak.
fears.
Yes,
What
overcome.
door has it opened? What new experience has it brought into your life?
Wow, I can understand firstly because before for me was also difficult understand different people and different accents, so now I can understand everyone that talk with me and ask me something in English, more or less, and also I can share my thought, share my experience, and yes, I can communicate.
So I think the door it has opened is sharing.
Yes, yes,
Sharing with the people from around the world
yes. Make
that
friends.
before you couldn't do.
Absolutely, yes.
And of course, helping your son, which was the number one to start with.
Yes, yes. In fact, yes. But
But
for me,
on a
I'm
personal
very
level, it's opened the door you can share and be
sure.
part of another world, no, with other people.
Yes.
Right. And Silvia, how useful do you think English is?
Oh, at the beginning, when I came back from the United States, I thought that it wasn't very useful because I've never used in my work or in my job or in the common life. But after those things, for example, I had a chance to get a job because in Ceuta, no people speak English. So they need someone to speak with clients in English, and they couldn't find people that could do this job. So for example, in my experience, it was useful for getting a job or after that time in my life, I used to, it's important because I can do the homework with my kids. I could give some English classes for a low level. And for me, it's been useful along my life in different moments are for different things. And
Right.
is
So what you were saying, you didn't expect it to be useful when you straight
yes,
came back.
yes.
But then things started to happen in your everyday life.
Mhm.
And as nobody here spoke English at that time,
Uh-huh. Yes,
and
at that time.
yeah, at that time, you found an opening
Yeah.
and a way to use your English.
Mhm.
So maybe this could motivate others that maybe they should spend time now, because they never know what will happen tomorrow or what door will open tomorrow in their life.
Yes.
Okay, girls, we're going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you've enjoyed our very short but pleasant conversation.
It's a
Thank
pleasure
you
for
so
me.
much. Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Letty.
Thank you so
See you.
much, Letty.